Welcome everyone. And today the Playbook series, a little weird about it, where I'm going to talk about designing courses and assignments in the age of AI. So my name is Shiki Zan. I'm from East Stroudsburg University in Pennsylvania. And this is sponsored by the ASPB PUI section, the pri primarily undergraduate institution section. And to join this section, it's easy. So it's open to any plant scientists who support PUI's mission in undergraduate education and research. It doesn't need to be a faculty member at the PUI. So I actually joined this section when I was a postdoc, when I realized I really want to be a faculty member in the PUI. And then I was joining regularly this monthly networking and then landed with a job in the PUI. So that's really helpful. And we generate resources for the community, such as the annual PUI webinar on the Plante, and including this is part of the PUI Playbook series. You will see them on YouTube. Probably you're seeing me on YouTube right now. Then we hold monthly office hours on Zoom. So it's a place where all career stagers are welcome. So to join us and discuss and ask questions and uh, exchange experiences. So this how to get notified when we're on new events and release, and please subscribe us on LinkedIn, Blue Sky, X, and Instagram. So at plant hashtag planting PUI. So today I want to talk about AI. So right now it's such a heated topic everywhere. You go to workshops, it talks about how do you incorporate AI in teaching, in writing, in pedagogy, in research. So today I want to talk about the AI incorporation in teaching. And actually the Forbes recently published a article and did a survey and found that over 90% of the college students use AI. And let them use AI is not actually the problem. And the problem is if they use the AI incorrectly and to do their homework, assignment, quizzes, like those open book quizzes as assignments, it will give us an incorrect assessment outcome of student learning. So if you leave them an essay, they can write a beautiful piece of work, but which they don't write it by themselves. And if you give them a textbook style problems and they can answer it within very limited time. Actually, I was giving them pre-labs as quizzes on the learning platform D2L we use, and it's a 10 question quiz, so including multiple choices, true and false questions, just basic question type. And I want the students to read the lab manual before coming to the lab and do these pre-lab quizzes on the D2L. And what I found was they just spend less than 1 minute to finish the whole quiz with 10 questions. And majority of them got 9 or 10 out of 10. So that's one issue, that's incorrect assessment. The other issue is it's impossible to detect if they're using AI or not when it's not permissible to them. So as instructors or the faculty members, we need to rethink how we design our assessment and the course to not forbidding them using AI because it's not easily detectable, but how to let us achieve our assessment goal and still letting them use AI. So a lot of these informations I found, the information I discuss right now is I got it from Harvard. They have a teaching center from UPenn. So the link to these informations are on the bottom of the slides. So a quick sum up of these assignments successful to AI use. So one is the take home short response papers and essays. They can simply copy these prompts into the AI and let them generate whatever requirement you ask. Then the take home problem sets, that's another issue, and then take home exams. So unless you have the exam very specifically have very specific requirement, and the take home exam actually they can use AI to answer them. Um, so the alternative is to require students to demonstrate the process or their understanding via the post-submission questions administered in person. So say you gave them problem sets. They take home these problem sets and they finished it. And after they submit their problem sets, you could hand in these in-person post-submission surveys or questions to check if they really understand it. And then for large essays, for large papers, you could actually break it down into small steps and actually have the students use the in-class time or lecture time to work on them. So one essay I typically gave to the students, just let them write a review paper about a certain topic. I know that the AI or they could easily use other tools to work on that without the proper prompts. So I break them down into several steps. I ask them to find a very specific topic, and then based on that topic, they have to identify 10 to 15 research papers, and they have to give me a list of those papers, and for each paper, what the author talked about, what are the main message, and then other instructions following that to let them step by step working on this essay. So that's alternative for these take-home assignments. So you still can use them, but you just need to add some additions to check they really understand it. And there are some AI-free assignments and assessments you can use. So a lot of this is based on to let them work in the class time. So you see them working on it, and if they heavily rely on AI, you could see it in time. And you can give them a presentation or lightning talk to check their conversation skill, verbal conversation skills, verbal oral presentation skills. That includes live Q&A. I think that is now the safest assignment we can use without really uh, letting them relying on AI too much. And we can let them annotate a take-home assignment with notes explaining their thought process. We we can meet individually with these groups or individual students to discuss their thinking process for an assignment. This is more like an oral exam. I was always attempting to give students oral exams to explain the concept or let them teach a concept, but I haven't tried that. Maybe in the future I will try that. Um, so the old school is a proctored in-class exam or let them have a writing sample or other activities. So following that, produce a reflection or response about content discussed verbally during the class. So you have to use a lot of your class time to do these formal or informal assessments, then that is more effective way to do it. So that's the AI free. And there are ways you could let the students explore AI and still do finish your assessment. So there are several activities you could pick. One is the brainstorming partner. Have students use AI to brainstorm ideas and then require them to critique about the output for bias and accuracy. So I've seen quite a few of colleagues using that just to really practice their critical thinking skills. Then fact checking as a model, which is similar to the first one, is to fact check what the AI generated essay, whether it's accurate or not, whether it's correct or not, based on published literatures. Then the third one, model comparison memos, having students compare several models. We have now not only ChatGPT or Gemini, there are several AI models, and based on my interaction with students, it looks like different AI have different personalities. Some are more risky, some are more conservative. So they can compare different AI and maybe on certain subject and write a brief memo on differences they notice. Then another one is a source anchored critique, provide the course readings, lectures. Students must use them to audit AI claims with citations and corrections. So in my take-home assignments, I always ask them to, once they make a claim, they have to give me a valid source, a citation, a reference, whether if it's a research publication or review they read it somewhere. So they have to have a source to make a claim. Then provide explicit AI instruction to enable productive academic uses. So you have to be clear on their syllabus or in the particular assignment whether you allow them to use AI and they can use AI under that can follow your expectation and explore a variety of AI strategies. So that's the AI exploratory assignment and the AI assisted, so how they can use AI in the way that you allow them to work on these assignments. So you can engage a dialogue explaining a particular course concept to an AI tool that has been configured or respond as someone unfamiliar with the material. And there are so many AI tools, not only these LLM you can use, but the generated ones you could use for different purposes. So if they're serving a certain purpose, maybe later we can talk more about it, is how to use the correct generative AI tool for the correct concept, for the correct task. And the second converse AI as its role plays in the persona, such as a stakeholder in the case study or a patient in the clinical conversation. So this is what I use in my lecture a lot recently is it's combining with the third one too, is to let the AI help me to generate case studies, scenarios, and or practice questions to let the students work during the lecture. So I was talking about climate change in the food systems, and we talked about the different stakeholders in the food system, such as the transport company, like the food processing company, the farmers, the breeders, and then I uh, ask AI to help me design a game for the in-class discussion. So then each student, well, the whole class are separated into different groups, are grouped into different um, sections. Then each student in the group will play the role of one stakeholder and then they need to maintain. So their goal is to make sure their profit is maximized, such as the farmer. So they have to make sure they have a maximized profit, and altogether they have to bring down the greenhouse gas emission by 20%. And how they can do that? So that's a lot of fun um, to do, but without AI, I'm not able to create so much details by myself. And then another way, the last way I'll talk about is ask AI to feedback on early drafts of the students before they're submitting it for revised versions to the instructor. So I believe this at this time, a lot of students are using that as well. But you have to give them specific instructions on how to use that. So I believe this is my last slide. And if you like the content, you can follow us on this different ways on the social media. And